Okay, I would like to start out by asking if anybody knows what state was once the largest U.S. territory. Does anybody? No? Nobody? Is Lucas?
Alaska.
Nope, it was not Alaska. It was actually the Louisiana Purchase. Louisiana has a very rich cultural history, and it's one of the oldest settlements in the United States. It was discovered by a French explorer named De La Salle in 1682, and he named it after his king, King Louis XVI, and his wife Anna, hence the name Louisiana. And I quote, he claimed all of the land, drained by the river and its tributaries. And at the time they didn't know this, but it goes all the way up into, I think, Washington State. It was purchased by the United States on April 30th, 1803. Purchased in 1803 by the United States for roughly $15 million at the time, which is a really good deal. And the reason we saw this as a good investment was because we were vulnerable from the Mississippi River. If an enemy wanted to attack the United States, which at the time we were having rough times with Britain, they could come up the Mississippi and it was vulnerable. When it became a state, okay. When it became a state in 1803, in 1812, excuse me, the counties in Louisiana are not referred to as counties, they're referred to as parishes, and that's because of the Spanish political influence on the state and the area. And during 1815, during the Battle of New Orleans, the people of Louisiana are very different. There's Slavs, Italians, French, and there's Native Americans. And it was always known as a place of diverse culture. And in 1815, when the British were attacking New Orleans, people in Louisiana take great pride in the fact that they stood up to this enemy, and even though they didn't agree with each other, all they knew was that they wanted to protect their home and their state. That's what I wanted to talk about, actually. Brings me to the cultures of Louisiana. Native Americans, who had always been there, they influenced boating and folk medicine. You can use shrubs, bark, things that you can use from nature for medicine. The Indians influenced. The Slavs introduced oyster fishing and shrimp fishing in the area. The African Americans influenced music all the way back to the Civil War times, and it gradually increased, turned into jazz, and jazz turned into blues. And New Orleans is known as the place where blues originated. And of course, the Cajuns. If any of y'all have heard of Cajuns in Louisiana, you know about gumbo and jambalaya, dishes like that. All those dishes are originally French dishes, and they originate from that area. Louisiana today, I'd have to say it's a pretty good place. It looks really old. There's a lot of old architecture. And the people in the state are they're more family oriented. They're more old fashioned. They love the outdoors. I can't emphasize that enough. I mean, even as 5, 6 years old, I mean, children, girls, boys love being outside, love being in the mud, love getting dirty. You know, that's just how they are. And just to show some of the architecture, that's the Nottoway Plantation. It's the oldest plantation still standing in the United States. It's from 1849. Also, Jackson Jackson Square, which is in New Orleans. And that was a monument representing what those people did to protect New Orleans when the British were invading. And of course, last but not least, I'd like to talk about Mardi Gras and Bourbon Street. Mardi Gras is a celebration that celebrates the day the French first settled Louisiana, which was February 26, 1682, I believe. And every year, it's known that down in New Orleans, people just get down to Mardi Gras. It's one of those fun facts for y'all. Hope you enjoyed my Louisiana presentation.